So, what I would consider the worst game of 2025 just got a massive update, and yeah, it's actually playable now, so that's good. But don't get me wrong, I don't think it actually fixes anything. Okay, so again, there's this game called Mind's Eye. I'm sure you've heard of it. Okay, What's Critical probably was the one that gave it the most exposure, and it's this game where it's trying to bring back that cyberpunk vibe with a GTA feel, right? And it's a cool premise. Okay, I like the fact there's more cyberpunk vibes and games we're getting. However, the point was there were so many bugs and crash points that it almost seemed like they didn't even do an overview to clean the game up. And what are we doing here? This was a massive upload of a game, right? This was the push. You're telling me these guys didn't even look into it. I'm going to bring up the website I actually got this from, but before I do that, I'm tired of this release now and fix later like model we have right now in gaming, especially from these studios that have a massive amount of support and almost endless time. Okay, to me, it's you don't get points for starting the race and tripping over the fucking finish line. Okay. All right, so here's the thing. Worst reviewed game of all time of 2025 gets an update to address some of the issues from GameSpot. Apparently, this is hotfix number 2, which at least they are fixing the game. At least they're trying to do something. But let me just read this out. So, all platforms, here's what they were doing. Continued performance improvements related to CPU, GPU, and memory use. Fix an issue with AI vehicle collisions. Fixes to some that used to cause the game to crash. Resolve the situation where players could get a mission failed during the cinematic in the Docks mission. The red car, sky car can no longer be destroyed during a cinematic. The buggy springs contract correctly, and the tire spin new during driving the motion blur off. Removed an invisible collider that blocked progress in a new companion mission. Fixed a issue with vehicle despawning at the objective and new companion mission. Fixed an issue where DPR and Delta point 0.5 weapons were becoming attached to each other. Addressed VFX sparks appearing too bright on damaged drones. Rectified AI characters holding weapons at a 90-degree angle, and corrected visuals of some male models' deformations when hit by vehicles. That's a lot of hoopla. I want to read through it all though. My point is, there's a lot of shit that just should not be there. And always going to be some games that have little issues here, but okay, a good example is why this shit why the fuck is this shit going on in the cinematic, bro? Are we serious? Or even fix some issues that cause the game to crash. Again, there's a lot of yap I kind of just put in there to kind of tell you what's going on, but the point is, this is a very numbed down version of what's going on. A game that actually I thought does deserve some leeway is a game called Deltarune. Okay, now don't get me wrong, I'm not a big Toby Fox glazer. You're not going to catch me on that side of the aisle too often. However, I recently played the first chapter of that Deltarune game on my stream, right? And I already looked. There's a lot of new updates when it comes to the development of that game, because there's a few issues, but the point is the game is more developed than not. Okay, there's some things that the first time player can look in there and be like, yep, I can more or less play the game, versus I'm getting fucking hard stuck at every which turn. And that's the problem. To me, you should not be playing games like that. And I think when you look at a lot of games nowadays, we're in a stage where you can just pump out a game, and I kind of talked about it in my last video as well. So if you want to go back to that one, you can see what I talked about there with price. Okay, but this is more just about launching a quality game, right? That the other video I talked about, $80 games and how that's just bullshit to me. But here it's you know it is kind of like YouTube now, where it's okay, you got all these people just pumping out game, pumping out a game, pumping out, and you want to be in the top, because if you're not, if you're missing out, well, you're kind of fucked. I would argue games and content creation are probably the most competitive shit there is right now, and especially with how lucrative it is. I mean, dude, yeah, you might fuck some people over, but it doesn't mean I want to take it. You know what I mean? And it's really hard because it's not the fact that I'm saying, oh yeah, I don't want these games to do well. Obviously, go back, fix your games. To me though, it's an act of taking responsibility. Because, dude, there are some people that remember shit, and especially these people online that play these games, bro. Dude, you will upload a fucking game, and 10 years later, someone will look back and be like, "Oh, what's this game?" Someone will do that. That's just the way the internet is with this shit. That's just the way that people are in the gaming industry. It's kind of like movies where people will be like, "Oh yeah, here's this dumb fucking movie from this year." There's some movie buffs, there's some game buffs. But again, it's like, okay, you charge full price, okay? You made me spend hours of my life working away, right? To buy your game, your fucking game. And to me, it's like, and it sounds mean, but again, I think of a kid that can't do shit, can hardly work, maybe might be even working like, minimum wage. And I know some people that have been in those situations. And you're going to tell me, oh, yeah, well, sorry for our shit game. No, dude, your game's shit. Fuck you. That's what I think. Well, you Blue, you're being so mean. You're being so harsh. Bro, when you have people that are like not making shit, like, and again, like, I think of a lot more younger people that like really have, like mainly are the main audience. Don't get me wrong, we are getting to a stage where now like everyone kind of plays video games, right? It's just like the era we're getting into, which is good, which I think is very good. But like you gotta realize too, like the majority still is gonna be younger folk. And you could say younger folk is still gonna be around like young adults. I'd say young adults is probably like a good median where like we are right now. But again, like to me, it's like you patch your game. It doesn't make you a hero. It means you did your job. Okay. And I feel like we need to get back to trusting developers. We need to get back to trusting the games and the passion projects that they have. Because a lot of these aren't floating, man. They're just collapsing. And let me tell you, here's the cycle. Here's the main cycle we're always getting, okay? And tell me if I'm wrong, okay? This is what usually happens, I see, though. You got big marketing, big launch, then the broken game with the backlash, and then a half-hearted apology. Usually it's like a letter, unlike, a Twitter and, some kind of like JPEG bullshit. And then they'll give you like a delayed roadmap, okay? Like they'll give you the Cyberpunk roadmap, okay? And then maybe down the line it'll be good. Granted, I'll die on that bridge. I think Cyberpunk was done dirty by advertising. I think that was an okay game, other than some of the bugs. Anyways, my last point is, yeah, I get it. Being a game dev is hard. I've tried multiple times. I can't do it yet. And one day I want to develop my own game when I have the time and the money, but I don't have the money. But when I do, I can sit down and actually, make a game. I'd love to. But when I can see all these indie devs do it with hardly nothing, bro. It's like Tony Stark make this with a box of scraps in his cave. They're doing this shit on a horse string budget, okay? And it's very creative and they're great. Like these games are really good. Even games I'm not a big fan of, like let's say Poppy Playtime, not a big fan of that shit. But you know what? They're actually putting some effort into that. And to me, it's like, what excuse do these AAA publishers have? None. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'd love to have some support. It would mean a lot to me because I'm just trying to grow this channel as much as I can. And I've been doing this for 10 years, and I'd love to hopefully grow. So love you guys. Smile, keep it up, and let's fight for a future bright. So much your eyes. My name's Lotoseo. I'll see you guys in the next one.